In this video, we're going to discuss how to create a battery status report from BMU Pro data that you've downloaded from the BMU Pro. The first thing is to pick out the particular BMU that you want. In this case, I'm going to pick out this one right here, but I could have picked out any from any of these fleets that I have on file here. So we're going to choose this one. So the first thing we want to do is determine what kind of report we want to have and what time period we'd like it to cover. Different customers might be looking for different reports. They might want last month, last quarter, last year, and so there's different ways to get it, or they might want from the beginning of time. Who knows? So we're going to go over that a little bit first. So first thing we do is we're going to right click here and go to view details, and we're going to go into the history log, and we're going to look at how many cycles we might want to include in this status report. So in this particular one, I want to include the months of October, September, and August. So I also decided I think I'm going to take this one from November as well. So we're going to take start at 63, cycle index 63, and we're going to go to cycle index 41, so that means we need to subtract 40 from 63. We want to have 23 cycles. So that needs to go in our report setup. So we want to remember that number 23, go into report, and change the number of cycles in the analysis to 23 in this case. Usually I'll have more than that. This particular lift truck isn't that heavily used, so we can do that. Cycle count per period of days, that's an option. Typically that's not something we would do. It is something that can be done. It gives you what the cycle count is for over a particular time. This application, it doesn't really fit. Operational quality parameters. This particular battery is more of intermittent opportunity charge use, so we're not going to include incomplete cycles as a negative score in the score as a negative item for our overall usage score. Deep discharges are, however, probably bad, so we'll include that in there since we kind of opportunity charge. Obviously, alarms. Anytime you have an alarm, that's something that negative you'd want to include. So that kind of pretty much sets up our report. We're going to hit apply and OK. And now we're going to right click and go to generate reports. We're going to choose the battery status report. And now it comes up here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so we can go through this a little bit easier. And here we see the information that we get out on this report. We get information about the battery, the ID, the tag, the import date that the data was based on, how much capacity has been used, capacity left, operating time, operating days. These are all information over the entire lifetime of the battery. How much energy we've consumed from the mains, overall charge factor, as well as average lifetime battery temperature. As you can see, it's pretty reasonable. This battery, like I said, is relatively lightly used. Now we go into those last 23 cycles that we chose. We're looking at the data compiled based on that. You can see we have moderate operational quality. There's obviously something holding that back. Probably has to do with these deep discharges. That's probably a big part of it. Then you can see we go down here. We also have alarms, and that probably contributes to that moderate score as well. We had 4 alarms. Looks like we had 1 high temperature, and looks like we had 2 low electrolyte alarms, and it looks like we had another one, but we have to go down to the next page to see that. So if there's a second page, we go up here to the forward, and we see we had a voltage balancing error. So probably the battery on one of those deep discharges got a little bit out of balance and kicked off on that alarm. So if we go back here, and you can see also interesting that the date on the high battery temperature alarm and one of the low electrolyte alarms also happened that same date. It's also possible that this could have happened due to somebody doing some service on the battery. Maybe they watered it or something at that time. So then once we have this, you might want to print it, and you can choose print and choose your file and print that to that. I'm not going to do that, but you can also email it directly to somebody if you want to email it to a particular person. It starts your default email client. I can show you that, and generates an email to that particular, basically with a PDF file attached that you can address to a particular customer, copy whoever you want, add a subject line, add any body to the email that you choose. And then more likely you are going to want to save that file, and then you can email it, show it to somebody, do whatever you want with it, and it comes up with a default header, PDF format. You hit save, and it'll be saved. Both pages will be automatically saved to that. So that's pretty much it in how you create that report and what some of that information means. You can see all that data here. As always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact Ecotech at 937-606-2793. Again, that's 937-606-2793. Thank you.